everyone. Many thanks for the invitation. We are both very happy with Roxana that we can spend this time now with you and explain the details of the EIC Pre-Accelerator, which is a new call, a pilot call, so to say. So it's not only new for you, but it's also new for us. But we're also very excited that we have this this call. And indeed, I am working at the European Commission, and together with our colleagues and Roxana as one of them at ISMEA, we are implementing the European Innovation Council program as such with different elements. And before I will jump into the EIC Pre-Accelerator, I would like to tell you a bit more still about the whole EIC, just to set the scene, so to say. So if you could move to the next slide, please, Noemi. Thanks, and one, yeah, but I don't know, I still see the first one. It's just on my side, or...
Hello, good morning.
That's also not in the slideshow. So something is probably a bit blocked.
Okay, right now you can see it moving.
No, I still see the first one.
Oh.
It's the same, Roxana, for you, or?
Okay.
Yes, I think it's for everybody. Is still in first page and not slideshow yet.
Yeah, like some kind, frozen or something.
Right now?
Push. Yeah, better now. It moves.
Okay.
Okay, now it's in the slides. Oh yes, okay. So next one, please. Yes, okay. It's moving now. Okay, so I think we are all hearing what's actually being said recently in the different situations, different discussions about Europe and the innovation potential, but also the things that are holding us back. That we are quite good as it comes to research performance. We are also quite good as it comes to funding seed stage of the development of companies. We have brilliant talents, a lot of great ideas, but it's not exactly so good as it comes to scaling them up and really trying to find a solution to the so-called value of that as it comes to going from the lab to the enterprise, to the market, and then scaling up and staying for the stage of scaling up in Europe. So this is more or less why we have European Innovation Council, and now this is becoming even stronger with definitely more emphasis on that angle of support as it comes also to the European Union priorities of the current Commission. What is now on the agenda? We just finished this week Research Innovation Days, and it was repeated again several times that we need to invest more in innovation, in the best ideas and people in Europe, and also try to go beyond the grants schemes, turn into equity and also to some serious investments that were not yet available on from the European level, so to say. That is also joining forces with not only public investments possibilities with us, like EU budget, member states budget, but also private investors, first of all. So a lot of those discussions are now in place, and actions as well. And one of those actions is already what EIC is doing, but also some new ideas are on the table, and we will progress in that respect in a few years, I think, quite significantly. So EIC is working on that, and also, looking a lot into the ecosystem, into what is happening on the national, local level in the ecosystem, supporting innovators and entrepreneurs, of course, as well. And all this is to create a friendly environment for the companies to grow in Europe and to scale from Europe. And to make our continent stronger. So if you could move to the next slide, please. Yeah, so a few words about the EIC as such. We have a 10 billion budget for current Horizon Europe, and the plans at the moment for the next Horizon Europe starting in 2028 are actually into tripling that budget. So that shows also the emphasis that we are having the EU level and those kind of investments. We are creating with our offer one-stop shop for researchers, starting with working on ideas from a very low technology readiness levels, then going into so-called transition phase when they can prepare business models and start commercializing those results of research conducted before, up to financing with grants and equity for startups, for deep tech startups and small medium enterprises. So it's really one-stop shop. We call it a bit of innovation journey, and I will show you that also in a bit of a more like a map, let's say, way. We are funding most of all bottom-up research, so the topic that your proposal is on is completely up to you. We have also some challenges, and then these are developed by our program managers, so researchers that are working with us and let's say scouting and analyzing what kind of challenges, what kind of problems are to solve, what kind of ideas we should look for solving those problems. But most of the calls are basically open, and the subject is completely up to you. We are working together with the EIC board. That's the group of experts that is advising us on how to progress, what we should do in specific moments of the EIC developments. These are experts coming from different backgrounds. These are researchers, entrepreneurs, investors, experts in ecosystem development. So we really follow also their advice. I already mentioned when I was talking about challenges that we have program managers, so researchers working with us on specific fields, and they are looking into not only those challenges identified also by them, but also in general to the whole portfolio of projects funded by the EIC, and they are actively supporting beneficiaries, researchers, and entrepreneurs in developing and advancing the products and going to the market eventually. And we are, of course, also ourselves placing our actions in a bit of a wider context. So we have a cooperation with the EIT, with knowledge innovation communities of the EIT. We also have a cooperation with the European Research Council, because the projects that are funded by them quite often then go to proof of concept phase, and then to us to do transition to get closer to the market. We also offer business acceleration services for our beneficiaries to help them grow. We have a plugin scheme for national programs to jump into the EIC Accelerator a bit easier, let's say, way. So that's already to the second step of the evaluation. So we really are working with whoever is there in the ecosystem, supporting innovators. And what's of course quite clear here, I already mentioned that we are offering equity, and we have for that the EIC fund, that it's acting as our investor branch, and really looking into the best ideas and offering possibilities of blended finance and also equity only if that's the wish in the case and in specific companies. Next slide, please. And just to finish a bit with the EIC as such, a few data that you can see here in different sections on the slide. The one that applies mostly to companies is in the left bottom corner, when you can see that companies that we are investing in are growing significantly. It's 50% in terms of employment, 55% in terms of revenue, and that's more or less within 3 years after our after receiving our funding. So it's really showing that this is really a boost for companies' development. And we are also quite happy and proud always when we are supporting companies led by women, and that's also one of our priorities. But you can also see here a bit of an overview of how we are investing, and that also we are investing with other investors in Europe, because what the EIC is clear that it's also necessary to have investors with us to make this impact even bigger. Next slide, please. And that's this innovation journey. So just for you to have a full picture of what EIC is offering. So we can start from the bottom. So I already said that the EIC program managers are helping us to develop challenges in emerging deep tech areas. And then we have 3 key funding schemes and 2 others. So basically the key ones are Pathfinder, Transition and Accelerator. They've been there from the beginning of the EIC, from the beginning of Horizon Europe. Pathfinder is more for research projects still, for technology breakthroughs, for consortia. Then there's Transition, which is also offered not only to consortia, but also to single companies. And that's getting already a bit closer to the market. And our Pre-Accelerator that I will not talk about is actually quite similar in terms of covering TRL levels. But it's only for companies, so single beneficiaries from widening countries. Then we have a regular accelerator, and the Pre-Accelerator is about to help to jump into this EIC Pre-Accelerator, to the EIC Accelerator regular call that it's offered to single companies. And could be grants, as you can see on the slides, and equity. The most popular way is to apply for so-called blended funding. So that's this. We also have a STEP, a new initiative from this year, and that's for companies who need more investments, higher numbers here, as you can see, and focus on digital deep tech, biotech, and clean tech. And that's only equity. And all of that is also supported by the business acceleration services, as I said, and that covers mentors, coaching, support with going to different markets, with some also participation in different events across the world, and support that we can also give more on one-to-one basis. Okay, I think that's it as it comes for introduction to the EIC as such. So we can now go to next slide, please, and jump into the EIC Pre-Accelerator. So again, next slide, please. So this is, as I said, a new call. The call was published in June, and it's closing on 18th of November. We will have 20 million euro for this call as a whole. We plan to fund more or less 50 projects, and that's directed. This call is directed to the early stage deep tech startups from widening countries only. And the idea is that they, within this call, we will help companies to advance their technology, the product from TRL 4 to TRL 6. Because TRL 6 is needed to apply to EIC Accelerator regular call. And we've been doing some analysis of the results of widening countries in the EIC Accelerator last years. And well, first of all, results are not so good. Still, there's a lot to do and to catch up as it comes to widening countries. And we noticed that quite often the problem is that the technology that it's being described by the company in the proposal submitted to the regular EIC Accelerator call is usually not mature enough. So this Pre-Accelerator is exactly aiming to solve this at solving this problem. So that's why we have those TRLs slightly lower. In order to give a bit of time and also budget from our side to progress, to advance, and to get ready for the Accelerator regular calls. So with this call, we are addressing on one hand, as I said, the TRL, but also, of course, the investors and market readiness. So the company can work towards the commercialization of the technology or the product. Next slide, please. To be a bit more precise, what do we mean by deep tech? Because of course EIC is focused on funding for deep tech startups and SMEs. The final answer to that question is also always at the side of the company, because it depends on what exactly you are working on. These are the key characteristics of a technology that is deep tech. So first of all, it has to be based on some scientific discoveries, previous scientific work. It has to be something really new, that it's at the so-called technological forefront. And it's really based on ideas that were developed in the lab, and also has a really potential to change the given field of activity, to propose completely something new solutions, some new solutions, somehow promise significant advances in physical or biological and digital spheres. So that's our definition of deep tech. It's important to remember that that's not high tech, because this is high tech is referring to R&D intensity at the level of company, and that's not it's more like a nature of what the company is working on. Next slide, please. A bit more detail about the scope of this call. As I said, early stage deep tech startups that are working and are really serious about going to the market with their technology, and they have this technology validated in the lab. So it is at least tier 4 already. They have the right, the intellectual property right to whatever they are proposing. You do not have to have freedom to operate ready. You do not have to have a patent ready, but you need to be able to, at certain moment, of course, progress to that stage as well. So we need a description, and we will come to that a bit later of how it is in your case. We need to be sure that you have those rights somehow secured. This vision that I already mentioned a few times, that going to the market is important. So you really need to have some clear plan to reach to that stage, and definitely a plan also to scale up whatever you are working on. So because the ultimate goal here is, of course, to help you grow with your idea, and to also be able to get funding from either from us or both from us in the later stage, from accelerator and from private investors as well. Next slide, please. I already mentioned that. So this is just for you to remember that we of course are aiming with this call to help you to get to the EIC accelerator, but it's not a must, it's an option. But also, of course, and this is something we really wish for, that you will be able to attract funding from private investors. But also in case that will not be possible somehow to apply to accelerator successfully, there is a possibility to get a seal of excellence from us, and then maybe to apply on the national, regional level if possible, for some alternative funding that you can get actually already on the level of the pre-accelerator, if not successful in that call, but that's also offered by the EIC accelerator at the later stage. Next slide, please. So more specific conditions. So only single companies are allowed to apply in this call. By companies, we mean small and medium-sized enterprises, including startups, of course, that are established in the widening countries. So of course, Hungary is one of the widening countries. As comes to the type of the project that we are offering, proposal template, this is the coordination and support action. But if some of you already know this from other Horizon Europe calls, you would be surprised because this template is different. We adapted it a lot to the pre-accelerator evaluation criteria. So to have the full picture on what you are expected to do in terms of preparing a proposal, you should really check this template, not any other coordination support action template. This one specifically designed for the pre-accelerator is only the one that you should look into, and of course it's available on our website. The evaluation will be single stage and it will be based on the EIC transition open criteria. This is just to say that this is more or less the same approach as it comes to TRL levels and progressing towards the market. But of course, those criteria are explained fully also in the call text available in our documents on the website of the call. And you can apply for the grant only funding for maximum 2 years. If some other time is needed, that of course it's possible. We already got quite some questions if it's possible to have a shorter project. Yes, it is, but then we would need, of course, some explanation how you want to you want to progress faster and what are your ideas, milestones, and so on. We will offer 70% reimbursement, and this will be a lump sum. Which means that we would require from you a detailed budget at the proposal stage, but then as it comes to reporting, we will only ask for the reports as it comes to tasks performed and the work plan implemented, not for the cost statements or something like that. And we will fund grants, as I said, within this 20 million budget that we have, that will vary from more or less 300,000 euros to 500,000 euros, and this means that this is 70%. So basically, if your total costs of your total project tasks that you calculated would be, let's say, 500,000 euros, then 70% of that will be 350, and this is what we will fund. So this is the way we calculate that. I think that would be it from my side, if I'm not mistaken. So if you go to the next slide, please. One thing just to sum up, something I already mentioned, but just not to forget that by becoming the beneficiary of the EIC Pre-Accelerator, you will have access to the business acceleration services, the ones that I mentioned at the very beginning. So access to mentors, to coaching, to some different events will be offered to you as well in order to progress with your idea and to find some potential investors, customers, and so on. You will be offered fast track to the EIC Accelerator. And you will be also offered Seal of Excellence in case your proposal would be evaluated positively, but without funding from our side due to some budgetary limits. And then with the Seal of Excellence, it's also possible to get access to this business acceleration services. And I think still some slides on my side just to explain you a bit more detail what does it mean to jump into the step 2 of the EIC Accelerator. So this fast track will bring you exactly in the middle of this slide, so to say, and you will be able, with your results of Pre-Accelerator project, work on the business plan that it's needed in order to submit a proposal in step 2. So basically, you will have already access also during this phase to 3 days of remote coaching offered by this business acceleration services that we have in order to work on your proposal to make it the best possible. And hopefully also get then to the next steps of the evaluation. And last thing, you can go to next slide. Just like to not to forget about this seal. So this is something we will also offer to the applicants that are really good with good ideas, but yeah, not enough funding from our side. And I think I will pass the floor now to Roxana to guide you through the proposal template. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Eva. Indeed, we can go to the next part of the presentation. So here we will discuss the proposal template, then the evaluation criteria, and I will conclude by providing you with some tips and tricks to have a successful application. So to start with the proposal template, it consists of two parts. One is the administrative part, we call it part A. Basically, this is the information which is generated by the system. So here you will have to introduce the participant details, the budget, and here it is the 70% budget that will be funded, so not the total cost. An ethics self-assessment, there is a security section and other declaration that you will have to do. Then there is part B. This is the core narrative part, and this has to be uploaded in the system as a PDF. It consists of three main parts, which reflects exactly the evaluation criteria. So section 1 is about the excellence of the proposal, section 2 about the impact, and the last one is about the quality and the efficiency of the implementation. There are other annexes, such as the lump sum table. So here you have to fill in the information concerning the cost. And then if you have clinical trials, then it's possible to upload an annex. Next slide, please. The Seal of Excellence, indeed, Eva has already mentioned what is its purpose. So in case the proposals are good, but unfortunately the budget is limited, then you may have alternative funding from the regional or national authorities. But in order for you to have access, you need to give us your consent. So you have to click that you give the consent for us to share the data concerning the proposal with the national or regional authorities. Part B contains several sections. Here you have to provide us with a description of the data management plan, the plan for dissemination and exploitation, if there are any patent application that is important, the deliverables that you will provide during the proposal, the work plan and the resources that you will allocate, the KPIs and risks, as well as any measures that you foresee to mitigate those risks. It is very important that the part B does not go further than 22 pages because the system will blank it out and the experts will not evaluate. So this is quite strict, 22 pages that you have to upload in PDF. If there are serious ethical issues expected, then it is possible to provide us with additional information in a separate document. Next slide, please. All right. So as I already anticipated, there are three evaluation criteria. The first one is excellence, the second one is impact, and the last one is the quality and efficiency of the implementation. In order to be successful for the first two, the proposal should score 4 out of 5 points, and for the last one, 3 out of 5 points minimum. There are three sub-evaluation criteria under each main criterion, so I will go in depth one by one. So next slide, please. The first evaluation criteria is excellence. So basically here it is very important to describe the technological breakthrough, so the novelty of the technology, where you compare it with respect to other technologies that are available or in development in the market. And also if this technology that you are proposing has a high commercial potential. Then it is important to describe the objectives that you set to be achieved in the proposal. So these objectives should be SMART, so basically specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and very important, time-bound with the duration of the project. So it has to be achieved within the duration of the project. Here, our experts will evaluate if the objectives are feasible, and you also have to state the KPIs for the planned business development process. So these KPIs should be concrete and should be measurable. Also, under this criteria, experts will evaluate the methodology. So is the timing right for your technology? Basically, you will have to describe how you will reach technology level 5 or 6, starting from technology level 4, which is requested under this call for proposals. So basically, here experts will check if the project is suitable during the to be achieved during the timing that is foreseen. Next slide, please. The second evaluation criteria is impact. And here under impact, there are three sub-evaluation criteria. So the first one is the credibility of the impact. Here you have to describe what is the commercial impact and whether this is credible and substantial with the project and also beyond the project. So it is important here that you describe an initial value proposition and identify potential customers and competitors. You don't need to have a business plan already. You can do this during the duration of the project, but it is important to have an idea and like an inception plan. So the technology and the product development should be convincing, should address any certification, regulation, and if there are any standardization requirements, because the experts will assess the credibility and the development of a business model as well as product features. The second evaluation sub-criteria is the economic and societal benefits. So of course, the experts will check if the proposed innovation has a potential for scale up and to gain or create new European or global markets. So here, of course, the size of the market is important. The bigger the market, the bigger the impact will be. So it is important for you to provide any information that is relevant with respect to this aspect. The last evaluation sub-criterion is the investment readiness under this impact. And here you have to describe to what extent the proposal and the activity will contribute to make the team and the technology investment ready. So basically, have you thought of intellectual property rights protection? Is there a market validation in place? It is not necessary as of this time, but it is important that in order for you to exploit the product, then IPR should be in place. Also, the experts will check if there is a well-defined and convincing go-to-market strategy, as well as pathways, what is the time to market, and what is the possible business and revenue model. Next slide, please. The last evaluation criteria is the quality and the efficiency of the implementation. So here experts will check the quality and the motivation of the team. So here it is important that you foresee the relevant resources and that you have a capable and motivated team that is balanced between the business and the technology. This will make the technology development happen. So it is important that the team is fit for purpose and that you provide important information concerning the technology maturation and the investment proposition. The second evaluation sub-criterion is the KPI and milestone. So here it's important that you define specific and measurable KPIs as well as relevant and clearly defined milestones so that you can measure and quantify the evolution of the technology towards the maturations that you envisage. So the team should be fit in the proposed pathway to market. It should be balanced between the technical and business competencies. If there is a gap, then you should plan to acquire the missing competencies during the execution of the project. The last evaluation sub-criterion is the work plan and the allocation of resources. You will see that you will have to fill in a budget table, and here you will have to do so by differentiating among work packages. So for each work package, you should allocate resources in order to achieve the technology maturation. So this will have to be balanced. Next slide, please. To sum up what is expected in a proposal, so basically it is important that you include preliminary market research in order to understand the potential customers and the potential competitors. It is important that you include a value proposition. It's kind of you do not need to demonstrate the market traction. That will be later for the accelerator, but it's important for you to identify what is the problem in the market, how your technology aims to solve this problem, and what is the competitive advantage with respect to the competitors and other alternative solutions already available. And also, in order for you to be able to market your technology, what is the sustainability of your competitive advantage? It is important that you foresee the resources that you allocate among work packages, the key people that you have in order to make the proposal successful, and you reach your objectives and technology maturation that you desire and that you plan. Next slide, please. To conclude, it is important to pay attention to the technology readiness level. So basically, we started by saying that this call targets TRL 4. So if your technology is lower than 4 or higher than 4, so if it's 3 or 5, then maybe this is not the right call for you. So you should really look for an appropriate goal. So here we want to target TRL 4, development further to 5 or 6 if possible. So it is important to make a preliminary market research, and in order for you to identify potential competitors and possible future customers, it is important for you to specify the milestones that you want to reach, what is the objective, what are the objectives and the KPIs in order to do so. It is important that you have a competent team and cover both the business and the technological aspect in order for these objectives to be achieved. Also, when you prepare your proposal, it is important that you gather all the necessary information so you can contact the NCP. There are question and answers that we have prepared for you and that are available in the call page, and so that you really propose to us achievable solution, and that a very well written proposal. So this is all from my side. I wish you every success in your application, and we are ready to answer any questions you might have.
Thank you very much, Eva and Roxana, for accepting our invitation and coming today.